Welcome to the Guild Hall. Blueprint Blue. In the Vozios Ambiguatus, we go through the public sector hall and just realize implementation of structure wasn't what we thought it was, but a system that still worked. It's just primitive. It's a primitive nature. It's like nested within a nest, but sort of delusional in a sense, but a good delusion. Kind of like looking at an optical illusion and allowing it to take place. But it used to be used as a way of trickery. But then you move on and you realize, isn't a lot of things a little bit like trickery? A little bit here and there. But it's not. There was purpose behind it, but it's not like we're doing the same thing that we did before. But sometimes it is like repetition that we got ourselves going on the same route all the time. Be aware. Kion Kaiolus was walking through Workshire. He was drinking some Barney type of drink in Burbishire. Bourbon. The streets used to be flooded. He used to be in that can, saving himself from the floods that would occur again and again. But after the battle with Moradin, he fled far away. He was too afraid of what he witnessed in a void spectra. The Speed Guild led him to look into it, and it brought him tears of madness, ecstasy, happiness, fear. He ran away far. Multiple different people looked into it too. They didn't expect what could have happened. Some people grew mad, some people didn't. But and surprisingly, it wasn't the same way it was shaped into, because it changed. The ancient Speed Guild, what were they? In this story that we're on, there's not much detail about it. You can't just judge them from the book to the cover or whatever. It's unknown. Let's focus on the actual grounding nature of where Kion is heading to. He's in the grasslands. He left Thidapet to go on a journey far away through the mountaintops, and the clouds of silver brought him to the blue sun, where he watched it day and night in the cabin, looking at the fire. The fire that showed images of fears, wars, and insanity, but he was with a woman called Amelia, and Amelia was testing him constantly, making jokes and saying remarks that he didn't really, but he got used to it. He fled into the forest, and he didn't know what he was doing for a while. He was just looking back on his past, trying to emulate it again by living through his memory of what happened in the World Tree when he battled the false lights that weren't really enemies altogether, but more trickery. could have been all an illusion or a hallucination. He probably didn't fight it. He probably didn't go to that new world with even more enemies that brought him a sense of peace, because he could battle day in, day out, constant battles, constant places, new friends to make. But they were the friends he already had in the Speed Guild. He just was looking at it from a different point of view. Or maybe that's the case. Maybe I'm wrong, and there could be a new dimension of understanding to that. There was something coming towards him. A shadow. Now he remembers battling shadows in the past, before he was Scion, before he was encased in that egg in that island of the dragon, where he left and became a pedestal in Thidapet. He was with a team, watching, controlling, watchers of eternity. But he didn't watch altogether. He wanted to interfere. How did he interfere? Well, secretly, everyone wanted to interfere. They just didn't talk about where they went. It almost seemed like they were always in the room, constantly. But they did go places. They did have their own foolish desires, which led them to different places. When you're concentrated on just one person, you don't concentrate on the lens bifraction that they created within the crystalline nodes. And the funny thing is, this was the realm that Katsuo Kitsune was in, or Akio Kumikio, when he was looking up in the castle where he was fighting the deities that were just shadows. But they weren't shadows, they were like mirages, kind of unknowns, where all that needed to be necessary was to move the meditation point to the next, collapsing into the crystal to continue. And this is how Katsuyo Orikyo continued to pressure his perception through the story and influence himself. There's two. Yes, there's absolutely two. Because in this book, there's more than two even. That's how it's a shift. You shift character sometimes, and you're not always just Akio or Katsuyo. Sometimes you're Scion or Miku or a Anthropos or Bra or other people. Just different perceptions of soul, ego, identity. What happened was that it gets even more complicated because we're plugging in a system into the novel literature of the story, and it's a pathway. Modular English. Think modular English of 13th grade that you were taught in the spectral realms, where the modular design doesn't just create one modular structure, but more modular structures that bend the rules of reality and introduce new freedoms, new ways of thought. But it's like that. But let's continue. Where were we? I forgot. And that's a good thing. That's an anchor point in the story. Now that we forgot, we can go all the way back to what the Flower of Remembrance really was. It was a broken paradox where you could plug in all your notes and see the connections and grow like a tool assisted speedrun or team assisted speedrun. I don't know, it depends on the collaboration notes. But now everything's so automated that the lesson structure makes laziness and procrastination continue to the point of endlessness, and you focus more on physical means in some areas, but it's all an excuse if you don't just plug in your willpower and fire it up. But sometimes fire is not a strength for people. Sometimes it's water or air or earth. It depends.